without the cultural container to direct the arrows towards the sacred, what can happen is that it gets sidetracked and gets planted on um, different forms of consumption or different forms
Mm,
of fleeing, of numbing. So we can absolutely project it on another human being. So when we're deeply longing for the sacred, but we don't have anybody to direct us towards the sacred, what we tend to do is look for the sacred in another human being. And we meet this other human being and they're glowing and radiant and beautiful. And we see the sacred in them, but it's a
mm,
projection. Of course, we all have the divine within us, and this is something slightly different, where no other human being can hold that role of the sacred for us. And so that's one of the main places where it gets directed.
it really
Um,
is.
yeah.
Mhm. Yeah. This is exactly where I feel we need to go now because it's a kind of unpopular thing, isn't it? You know,
Mhm,
no one wants to hear that this great romance, this fantasy, this idea of, you know, I've met the one, this, you know, he's my soulmate.
mhm,
No one wants to hear that we are projecting the sacred onto them.
mhm. Yeah. And as you say, it's not to say that there's not profound love between human beings. There is
Mm,
profoundly beautiful love between human beings. And there's actually a great poem, which I'm not going to be able to recite, but that essentially the idea is, does the earth want nothing more than to throw lovers into each other's arms so that, we can feel her embrace through each other,
mm,
So absolutely, there's a beautiful place where we can share the sacred with each other, with our human loves. Um, and there is, as I say, a a union, a sacred union that another human being cannot possibly hold, and it's not fair to ask them to hold that.
mm,
So, I think, I'll just pick up, also what you said about the sacred will take care of it. Like, it's
mm,
okay, they'll take care of it. There will be a point, so often in a relationship, what I would say is don't worry too much about figuring out, "Oh, am I projecting the sacred on this person or not?" Allow yourself to fall completely in love, go for love. It's at the point where you start feeling something pulling you beyond your partnership. There's a very
mm.
distinct point in relationships where all of a sudden it's like, you're not the holy being that I thought you were anymore.
Mhm.
And I want something more. I'm longing for something more. So when it's at that point of I'm wanting something more, of then saying, okay, don't blame your partner. It's not your partner's fault. Then start to look towards the sacred and see that there is a call, there's a hunger, there is a desire, there is a union that is longing for you just as much as you are longing for it.
Mm. Yes, and this is where culturally the idea of these fairy tales being only about union between two people sends us on this goose chase for like, well, if it's not here, it must be out there in another person, another person, another
Exactly.
person. Mm,
Exactly. Yeah. And then you
yeah.
just get the endless cycle of I'm just keep trying to find it and then I'm
Mm,
finding myself dissatisfied. It's a beautiful
mm,
thing if a partnership can withstand this moment where essentially the sacred is being invited into the relationship.
mhm.
Um, and if the relationship can move through that, then you have the human love and you have the sacred love, and that's really juicy.